Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Were you there last Saturday for the soccer?
Yeah.
I saw Mia run through the
Yeah.
banner. I was looking. I couldn't find you.
We were down towards the other end.
I saw Bruce.
I had Leo with me, and I was gonna walk down and see you guys, but then the soccer game was like
Bruce
right
still
away.
loose?
Bruce was very
Bruce was
loose.
loose
Bruce damn
all
near
the
walked
time.
through the the child run at the end.
Did he?
Or at the beginning, I mean.
I was wondering
They were like
if
trapped
would
behind the children. I'm like, watch Bruce just keep plowing through.
just like chuck a kid.
Oh, but I'll kind of miss doing that. It's something to do for them. Keep them entertained.
I don't know. Kids have too much stuff going on.
It is a lot of stuff. Well, and the other thing too is that it's not like you can send them off to go do this stuff. It's like, it's halfway across town. Like.
Well, that league was supposed to be at that church by us.
Yeah, they switched it up to that field turf place.
That is
My tax dollars are paying way too much.
Why
for
does
it.
that have a field turf? It's like a middle school,
Which
isn't
place
it?
is this?
The middle school?
What's it
They
called?
have
Timber
yeah, something like that.
Trailhawk or something.
That's a Jeep.
Is it?
Trailhawk is a
Or is
Jeep.
it a Sylvester Stallone movie? I don't-
It's a character. Yeah, I have no idea why a middle school needs a football field to begin with, and why does it need to have field turf and stands?
That way parents move into the area.
I mean, they can just give me some of my property tax.
I mean,
money
like
back.
that stadium looks like a high school. Better than most high schools.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. It's better than most high schools. Most high schools can't even afford to keep their own maintained, let alone. It's good. Like, what is there 5 in the metro that are worth a damn, and everything else in the state
I'm
of
used
Iowa?
to uppity Dowling here. Yeah.
And the
that's-
metro schools, at least when I was a kid, they used to all share a stadium.
They do again now.
Do they?
But yeah, that's the one up in Drake that they just built. Because they couldn't retrofit the rest of them for ADA accessibility. Or they could have. It just would have cost more.
We should introduce.
Yeah. Welcome back for another episode of Soft Knocks Podcast. Remember, guys, follow us on X and Instagram at Soft Knocks Pod.
Still
please.
waiting on that.
We have no followers. Please do us a favor. It's pitiful.
Jesus, you're really selling us, Jason. God. We got our fan mail. We got our first fan mail.
We did. We now have 2 fan mails, although one of them's from my wife, so I don't know if that really counts. She did have she sent 2 in. She had a question. She heard us talking about Dave's basketball league,
Oh, yes.
and she wanted to know if it was co-ed. Cause she
I
wants
asked
to play in
David.
it.
It's not.
She could probably kick some of those old
She could-
people's
she could-
ass.
But do better than I would.
Shirts
It's not
and skins
same.
with Mia
Yeah, Mia skins permanent.
Oh, and we must have said
You can play now.
She may get a concussion running up and down the court, but
shirts and skins. She's got to be
with
skins.
those speed bags in her face.
Oh, and the other thing she had to say is we must have said that she purposely screwed up our Soft Knocks
T-shirts?
shirts because she's denying that.
No, I have 2, and I can cut the sleeves off
Yeah,
one of
it's
them.
a good
now.
one.
Yeah.
We did get another fan mail with a movie suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
I know of the movie, but I haven't
I've
seen
seen
it all
it.
the way through. So this first part of this must be a line from the movie. It says, "I may not be your mother, but I have been called a mother." They said that we should review the movie The Human Centipede.
It's
It's
a
an
good
awful good movie.
Yeah, my wife watched it, told me about it. I've never watched
You've
it.
never watched it? It's where they spoiler, they sew lips to each other like buttholes.
Lips to lips.
lips to asshole.
Lips to ass, and so when they have to go number 2, it goes all the way through.
It's the most disgusting thing.
It's
I've
called a
ever-
second harvest.
I was
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you eat poop, it's, yeah.
I was hard the entire movie.
We should probably also mention that we have a new guest today.
Yeah.
We've got Brad with us.
Formerly in our fantasy league until he quit,
Yeah, he just figured out that the fantasy football is too hard.
but the party's fine.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
the
too
party's fun and the group text is fun. But he fits in well. He doesn't know anything about sports either, so
And he's won it
it'd be great.
before, so
Yeah, he's won it more times than a lot of people in the league.
The commissioner always bowed to pressure on trades, and so once I found I couldn't trade the way I wanted to,
you tried to gift wrap a title for Asher. I was gonna let it through.
Yeah, if you looked at the stats at the end of the season, the
Hindsight
trade
of
would
that,
have been good.
yeah, hindsight of that trade, it actually wasn't like
It wasn't bad at all. But at the time,
at the time it was. What was it, Devontae Adams?
It was stupid. That's what it was. I didn't know if it was truly like, here, let's just fuck around, or if it was like trolling. But it was a completely one-sided, ridiculous
not.
trade.
I think it was Asher drinking whiskey and texting Brad, "Let's piss these fuckers off."
Probably.
No,
My God, but
two most stand-up guys in the league.
I thought Asher was gonna break through last year. He had a good team.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Oh.
Well, in 86 days, he'll have another chance to draft a...
Oh, we have the date. Does that work
yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
I think I put it down.
Yeah,
The
even if you're
31st,
not-
right?
It might be the 30th, whatever that Saturday is.
I think for the draft... I think for the draft order, instead of releasing it on the podcast, we'll do reels on Instagram and try and get more people. I gotta have content to post.
My neighbor will post it on hers.
She can... Do they have reposts on Instagram? I don't even know if that's a thing.
Repost? What do you mean?
I don't know,
Like
like
retweet?
Twitter.
I've
I
never
can
heard of a
retweet.
repost.
Yeah, you
Maybe
can
there
like
isn't. I don't know.
Share.
like she'd share on hers ours.
That's how good we are at Twitter.
Yeah,
is I don't know how it
our
even
social
fucking
media
works.
team's really top notch.
It's not called Twitter. It's X, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to send?
Okay, Elon.
Yeah.
Do you want to send homing pigeons with our information on it?
Yes, that's a new tweet. That's the new IRL tweets. You send a bird.
Oh, my wife JD, who by the way works with Brad.
Yeah, Brad's a doctor
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
of the oral variety.
Not a real one.
yeah, an oral doctor.
He's a dentist.
He is. And
I don't want to hear any
Send in your
anti-dentite.
dental questions.
Yes.
Maybe we'll pick
We'll
up.
probably get more of
Maybe we'll get
those.
more.
You don't know if it's Brad answering or if it's us answering, but go ahead and send them in.
But anyway, they've been talking about this podcast at their work, and I guess one of the other dentists had it on listening. And what'd you say? She shut it off and had to go like talk to my wife about it.
Yep. Yeah, probably got through about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, she had to like it.
2 or 3 minutes would be a lot too. But no,
Like she was offended and had
No,
to shut it off?
I don't think. I think she just wanted to probably mock me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what it
Well,
was.
that's. I mean, yes.
was like, "Aren't you embarrassed for your husband?" that's I think what she asked JD.
I want to know if he's like depressed. Why is he doing a podcast? Oh. Do we have any
They
sponsors
were
yet?
listening to it.
Yeah.
In the dentist, like on like the speaker.
Well, I doubt the
No.
loudspeaker.
Like they were
right?
forcing your customers to listen to
We
it.
would never allow that.
That would be cruel and unusual.
Yep. They're already having a bad time. Don't need to double up on it.
They're getting a root canal, and, they
And
gotta listen
Jason's
to us.
voice is
Yeah.
just piercing their ear.
Talking about his property taxes.
Who we picked in the 7th round of the 2023 fantasy draft. So yeah, we're growing. We're growing. I think we got more listeners now.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna watch The Human Centipede though?
I've seen it years ago. I will watch it again. Yes.
If the fans demand it.
Yeah, we aim to please.
I never would have thought that would have been a movie suggestion that we would get, though.
There's a lot to talk about.
It's
that movie.
it's an older movie.
Yeah, it's probably I guess 10
20.
years.
No, I think I
I
remember.
don't think 20. I don't think 20. What?
I think you're underestimating how old we are.
2004? No.
I still think the 90s were 10 years ago. So yeah, probably.
Maybe 15 years. I feel like it was right around like some point when I was in college.
It's a bizarre movie.
You think?
It's amazing they think of this shit.
I could just look it up.
You could, yeah. We do have,
Well, I don't think they
computers.
think of it. It's these things have always been thought of. It's just that no one ever paid for it to be done before, and now there's so many platforms you can do it on that it's like, well, yeah, let's just put together
Thank you.
this. People's
Well, that one,
mouths so to
that
assholes.
one we were talking about last week, the dog, the man dressed as the dog. I did watch it.
Was it any good?
Awful,
So awful it was good.
so awful. It was comic. I mean, I did laugh out loud a few times.
So who was the murderer? The dog
Do you
or
want
the
a
person?
spoiler here?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, there wasn't technically a murderer. He was just a crazy man that abuse people and force them to dress as dog.
Oh, I thought it was like a horror flick.
Well,
I thought it was
it
like,
was under the horror genre, but
Oh.
he was just like obviously mentally gone, and he just like at one point the man in the dog suit goes to this guy's new girlfriend. He's like, "Help me, he's crazy," because she the whole time thought that it was nuts, but she thought it was just like it's kind of like an acceptance thing. Like some people like to dress as dogs, so she just went along with it. But then she found out he was being held against his will.
Casey's seen that too.
Did she watch that
Have
too?
you seen the Walrus one where the guy?
Oh, Justin Long.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's that called? I know I've seen it. Tusk.
Tusk.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up.
we're
movies out there.
disgusting over here.
But yeah, I don't watch most of those. Not that it's disturbing. It's just that, like, well, I could
they're
just
dumb. They are.
yeah, I could just read about it and be like, wow, that's pretty wild. And
it'd be great if it was based on a real story.
You never
be, I
know. It
suppose.
could be.
Guys, hold on a minute. I've got a couple dog costumes I need you to put on.
Clark's actually a dog person.
Clark takes his mask off finally.
It's like, thank God someone's
Oh,
here.
It's like Clark. It's even more awkward when I had peanut butter on me.
Yeah.
You were gonna tell people.
Clark was trying to human centipede my asshole.
Clark's the size of a fucking person. I could see that.
He does weigh like 80 pounds.
He looks bigger than 80 pounds.
He does.
It's all the hair.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that mountain lion they found again? Oh, they're all over Iowa now, but yeah, they're like 80 pounds. Like, can you imagine coming across a
No.
pound calf?
I've seen like videos on like Instagram and stuff where you see those things like sneaking up on people on trails. Oh, that would just scare the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, and you wouldn't know it's there until it wants you to know.
Clark could take a mountain lion.
No way.
I'm kidding.
Clark?
He's a little old now, but
When Clark was younger,
Domesticated.
he once chased a rabbit around our yard, and the rabbit got stuck in the chain link fence and started making the most awful
yeah,
noise
they're
you've
bad.
ever
they have the
heard.
worst. Yeah.
And Clark just looked at it and then like looked at me like, "What the fuck is
Like,
this thing doing?"
Was not expected to.
Like, I just
Catch
wanted to
us.
chase this thing. He didn't do shit with it.
Playful guy.
Yeah.
Did you go and snap the bunny's neck?
Yeah, just grab it.
No, I had to drag Clark inside, and then the rabbit like escaped and just left like part of its hide on the chain link fence. It was pretty gross.
It's kind of sad.
That was a little sad.
I don't like rabbits, so you know what? Whatever.
I killed some birds. Found out they were living in like my vents.
Oh, that'll happen.
And my neighbor has this like tool that is like a drill with like a 12-foot attachment. And I thought it was just nests in
Like
there.
an auger?
What's an auger?
Yes.
Basically,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
He hooked it to the drill, and we thought we were just getting like nests out. All of a sudden, I hear a high-pitched, like an awful sound. 2 birds attached to it were spinning on it, and they fell to. The children were screaming.
Yeah, right?
One was still.
Wait, you mean like your children or the bird children?
No, my and the neighborhood children. They're like, are they dead? I'm like, oh.
Not yet. They are now.
Yeah.
One
They
kept
stomp 'em
breathing,
out.
though. One kept breathing, and I'm not nearly man enough to like put it out of its mouth. Don't worry, we had Craig.
The nicest man alive.
Well, Craig's country strong,
Yeah, there we go.
and he just took care of it.
IV strong.
Well, we know we're not gonna. PETA's not gonna sponsor us after that story, but
Well, you didn't know.
it was doing it a favor. It was dying. I mean, so I got cages now blocking it. Don't want that to happen again.
Sometimes the cages just add as another way for them to be able to easily put stuff there, though.
Yeah.
They can't get in that little hole. I don't think.
Sometimes they can.
That'd
she
be
said.
impressive. Well, if they do it again, I'll tip my hat to them. That was awful.
I was hoping you were going to say something else was attached to the drill.
12-inch. Well, I said it was 12 foot. Didn't say what it was.
12-foot dildo.
All of a sudden, it's just going.
Craig, why do you have this?
That's the auger. That's the attachment.
That's what they call it. Yeah. Get the auger out.
That's the model.
Yeah, I'm there with a vacuum, and Craig's like, "Well, I got 12-foot dildo. I'm gonna take care of that."
Where'd you get that at? Oh
My brother's in jail now.
No, again?
Yeah, I got a text from my dad. Let's see. It's pretty funny. I think my dad's
It's
done.
pretty funny.
My dad's done with it. Let's see. It was basically just like. So I was telling
The little bro.
he's setting up a fishing boat, and it's not. He's basically kind of like building his own type of situation on the
Wasn't
inside
your
of it.
dad doing this?
Yeah, my dad's doing it.
Yeah, your
So-
dad is doing it. You've told me about
So,
that.
anyways, he was wanting ideas like, what do we need in this now? And like, so one of the first things was like, there was no place to put your beer. It's like you need some, holders, something that way. So we're
That's
trying.
the first thought.
It really was, because the second you're in a boat, you're like, you want a beer? It's like, yeah, I do. And then it's like, what do I do with this beer now? And he's like, good idea.
Let's not figure out how to get it to flow. We need some cup
No.
holders.
So we've looked for some ideas of how to be able to post these cup holders on it, and one of the things is that you can, basically just make like a milk crate and put these attachments on it. So then that's way it's not sitting there. I guess being a permanent attachment to the boat, you can always take it out if you need to, or whatever. But I told him about this idea, and then he's like, "Oh, that might work. Like to try it out." And he says, "Your older brother's going to be down there over the weekend. He has, I think, this week off from work too, so he's going to be down there. I don't know if he wants to go fishing, but he's going to be on the boat." Then he just says, "Eric's in jail for 60 days." And then he goes back to saying, like, "If you want to go on the boat, let me know." So just a one sentence line.
Just a pass
Just
by.
Yeah, if you want to know how to get the boat going, let me know. Your brother's in jail.
But the one that's not in jail is going to be down here. So,
Yep.
Oh man,
well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
what a way to find out though.
I know, right? Yeah. Just a little spot in a text. Talking about
That's
fishing.
such a dad text too.
I know.
Your brother's in jail.
Yep.
Oh, my dad doesn't send me texts like that. It would just be, it'd be like a 2-hour phone call.
Oh yeah, he's
Your dad
still
likes to talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
The
a
texts I
talker.
get from him are, "What are you doing? You got a minute to call me?"
Then he asks you about his fantasy football spreadsheet.
Oh, I can't wait for the improvements he's gonna make to that this year.
You let him know the date.
Yeah,
not.
I will.
Dad
He shows
couldn't
up
be
the week
happier.
before. He's like, "I'm pretty sure it's the third week." Just kicks the door in.
Don't worry, he'd still be drafting by the time we get to the party. He'd still be on the clock.
Yep. It's incredible at that.
He's already got his keeper decided.
Brock.
Brock Purdy.
That's a interesting situation they got. What do they think they're doing with Ayuk? Do you think they're going to try and trade him?
I would personally. I mean, they got so many guys on that team. McCaffrey just got paid.
I know they just paid him more. Yeah.
Kittle, I don't know his situation, but
I mean, he
Purdy's going to be paid. Debo, I think, did he get paid
Recently, yeah.
I wonder if the market just wasn't there for him.
Which-
Right? Because you feel like they would have traded him already if they were going to trade him.
Draft day would have been the
Yeah,
day
That's
to
what
do
everyone
it.
was thinking. If they're
Yeah.
going to get rid of him, it'll be draft day. But
Or he was
Maybe
just
they're
waiting
just
to
going
see
to wait
what,
for someone to get hurt.
or,
you
he,
know?
or he was just waiting. But he's not even close to Jefferson. I mean, but maybe to set the market. I don't know.
You don't want to wait to see the
I
market
know.
set.
That's what the dumbass Cowboys did.
they're going to not hold nothing back or whatever. They're going all in. That's what it was. Going all in.
Well, it's like, I'll agree Jefferson's better than Lamb, but Lamb's pretty good. He's going to get close to that.
Did you see what Waddle got?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And he's not even close to,
No.
like, well, he's more like I think Ayuk's probably better than him. I don't know. Close.
Maybe.
I mean, but then you see Jared Goff got that
Well, those
huge
quarterbacks get.
deal too. So it's like, well, if that's what they're willing to sit there and say, well, this guy isn't even a top 5 quarterback, but we'll pay him just as much as the last guy. Then, well, why wouldn't CeeDee Lamb get a $35 million a year? Maybe less guaranteed.
If that's what it's going for, he is as good as. I'd put him top 5.
Well, whether
Yeah,
he's
no,
good,
I think you
Yeah.
you
whether
have to
he's
pay
as
him.
good as not, he's just as necessary.
Yeah.
So the thing
You have
is,
to pay him like
Yeah.
JJ.
And Jamar Chase will be coming up here soon.
What was JJ's like? How much did he get up front? Like a signing bonus? It was some stupid high number.
It was
Justin Jefferson, 85. No, is it?
He's
What
got
was
like
the guaranteed?
85 guaranteed, but he got like 35 or 38 in just a signing bonus.
Someone just got whoever whoever just signed recently got an $85 million payday now on a $120 million contract.
A receiver?
I think it was a
It
receiver.
might have been JJ.
St. Brown. Or that.
No, I think it was Justin Jefferson. I want to say it was. Where it's literally just like he just got like basically $90 million out of the $120 million.
Okay, so
the day he signed.
4 year, 140 includes 110 million. Hold on, it's loading.
Yeah, I'm pretty
What, are
sure
you
it was
still
him,
connected to your home internet?
'cause I don't think anybody else had signed since then. But it was basically
110 million guaranteed.
But yeah, but like right now they gave him like 85 million.
Includes 88 million at signing.
Yep.
I guess inflation is there for everybody, including these football teams.
Well, so the other thing that they're betting on is they're betting that the NFL continues to raise the salary cap. So it's like, well, let's get rid of this money now when we have it available. And that way when it's raised, we can spend it on anybody else, instead of holding it and saying like, well, we got to owe him still.
Good God.
All to be overthrown by J.J. McCarthy.
Hey, the guy's a winner.
Sam Darnold.
We're gonna piss off our Vikings.
Fuck them Viking fans.
How about the NFC North, though? Man, that's brutal.
Brutally
Yeah.
good, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I mean, like, it is. It's all four of them have chances to be winning games amongst each other, let alone the rest of the...
It would be just like the Bears to like actually pick the right quarterback if that's what happens. But it just so happens to coincide when the
Dominant.
Lions, Packers, and the Vikings may also
know.
be
Yep.
really good.
Exactly.
That'll be a good division. I don't know who's the Lions are the favorite, probably.
Yeah.
Lions are the favorite. The Vikings are last in the betting market, and it's the Packers and the Bears second, third, according to Vegas, I guess.
Bears are going to start hot. They got a weak schedule, and you're going to be really annoying.
Who do they play first? Like Dallas?
Okay. Okay, Dallas. They'll make the playoffs. They'll lose in a gut-wrenching fashion, but at least they'll be there.
Why would I be insufferable? I'm never a terrible fan.
Who's the worst fan, Jeff?
Out of our friends?
Well, fandom versus, there's not anybody that really speaks up a lot over their NFL teams, other than, people like to give you shit because you're a Cowboy fan. But
I take it pretty well, and
nobody's really out there being like, man, my team's really good in football. Like, nobody's that guy. But in fantasy football, then it's a
that's
different
true.
story.
Yeah, we're all pretty terrible.
I try to stay humble in fantasy because I believe in karma. If I start bragging and I lose the next 5,
Okay, so
I
then
know.
why have you lost the last...
because I haven't bragged. Maybe I need to brag.
Yeah, that's right. You should change it up.
Flip the
Or
script.
maybe because I traded the best running back in the league last year for...
Yeah, you could have kept him.
Yeah.
You certainly would have had a leg up this year if you would have kept him.
Sorry, I like to make things
Difficult.
hard.
That's what she said.
So what do we think? I know you're not NBA guys, but who do you got here? Judging by game 1, it's like Boston, but
It was funny. Is like I was looking at DraftKings today, and I'm a sucker for plus money. So I was like
I am too.
thinking about taking Dallas
There we
to
go,
win
Luka.
the series. It was I don't know. It was like plus 250 or 280 or something like that. But I didn't do anything with it. And now I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, they're just getting Just
they'll
dominated.
make this a series. They're a good team. Sadly, Brad's friend bet with me the Celtics. So I think I meant to pay him.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, my birthday when I fell down the stairs. I probably should not be accepting bets.
Can you update? How's the...
The knee is a lot better.
Oh, that's good.
Still hurts to run laterally. Although
What
I don't
are
do a
you
lot.
doing when you're running?
I was playing catch with my daughter in the yard, and it went.
Lateral to you?
It buckled on me a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I'm not there yet, guys. If I
Sorry,
can
sorry,
walk.
honey. Daddy's got to go back inside and drink more beer and watch TV.
Yep.
And that's what she told the neighbors that morning. Dad got drunk and fell down the stairs.
Was she wrong?
No, but I don't think it was because of the beer. My socks slipped.
And you were carrying your cute dog.
Yeah, my adorable dog. And she's fine.
Did you guys have you guys seen all of the ruckus in the NCAA recently? So like they had the whole settlement, like antitrust settlement or whatever. It's going to lead to revenue sharing.
Yeah, I did.
I briefly saw that.
Something like, I think it's going to start out at something like, I think it says like 22% of revenue, which may amount to something like $20 million for Power 5 schools that they're going to be able to like give back to players. They're also getting rid of the transfer rules, where you have to sit a year.
I thought you didn't have to do that already.
I don't know. There's some rule that they're abolishing, and they're not allowed to do it at all. Like, so now kids can just transfer. No reason.
Is that not what's been happening?
That has been what's happening. Yeah. Recently, yeah.
Recently, I thought the big thing was that they're like free agents. They can just leave, and you don't have to sit that year.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe the Athletic is misleading me. I was reading an article that was up there. But
fake news.
Yeah.
But also,
I could be wrong too. I don't know. But I thought it was like a
with the whole like revenue sharing thing. They're also getting rid of. There was something in there about getting rid of caps on scholarships. Okay. Right. So
that's new then.
And I'm thinking like, what is going on here? Like these kids, like it is schools like Iowa State and Iowa are going to get fucked here.
Not Iowa. We got Kirk. We're good.
Well, you're going to be even more fucked. Like,
no, I know.
Kids are going to go to these schools that don't get offers right out of school, and then when they're good, they're gone.
Yeah, immediately.
You know, there's not going to be enough NIL money to keep them there.
Well, yeah, it's going to be there's going to be a feeder league, basically, where, you know, there's teams that you know are going to be able to produce somebody in their first 2 seasons that you're going to pick from, so you get the 3rd and 4th, but,
yeah.
I mean...
So pretty much it's going to come down to Alabama, Georgia, and...
It'll come down
Colorado.
to the halves.
Colorado. Coach Prime.
Deion Sanders.
A
Speaking
leader
of him,
men.
did you see the story about his son? Like
the one he's demanding there's only 5 teams he'll let him go to?
No.
Or...
His son like had to file bankruptcy because he I don't know, he hit somebody when he was in high school, like a security guard. He beat some security guard up or something.
Yep.
And he got sued and lost. But now with all this NIL money, like he filed for bankruptcy, but now all this NIL money, like they're like he may not be able to keep any of it because when you file for bankruptcy, if you then get money, like you have to pay back your creditors. It's not just like they wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, but maybe he's got an LLC to protect that. So like his first LLC's defunct. Now he has to bring up, what is his name, Shonders or something like that or whatever. It's like, so he just makes up a new one and then it's good to go.
How crazy is that though? Like I had never heard anything about him getting in trouble for anything like that, and then all of a sudden this came up, and it's
it came up because he declared bankruptcy, right? Yeah, it wasn't because of the other reason. Yeah,
that's a shitty family. I don't like them. That's all I want to say.
Really?
And I know Jerry Jones is going to draft that kid in the first round, probably.
Didn't he play for Dallas?
Dion,
oh,
yeah.
I would imagine you just had like a love for everybody.
He was like a
played
hired
for
gun.
Dallas.
He was a mercenary. They bought him for a couple years, like a LeBron. He was good though. There's no doubt about that.
Is he a good coach though?
Good recruiter. I don't know if he can
no
coach.
shit, right?
I think that's more important in college. Is recruiting.
Did you see?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was on the McAfee show today. The guy who is the coach for Clemson.
Dabo or
Dabo or whatever. Anyways, he's sitting there. They're doing some sort of like TikTok post or something like that, and he starts talking, and he's got some big kid with him, and he's sitting there talking about, and he's just like, and this is this guy, and he didn't know the guy's name. He's like, he's a 5-star recruit, like couldn't think of the guy's name. And then another guy came into the shot, and then he tried to like think of who this guy was, and he's like, "You guys are gonna have a lot of battles." You could tell he had no idea who this guy was either, and so he doesn't know what position these kids play. Nothing. Like he's just sitting there in part of this TikTok looking like an asshole, and yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so
doesn't even know his team.
But yeah,
he should know who they are because he's trying to recruit them.
Recruiting, yeah. This is the part where it's like, I don't know if you made it with those recruits. Maybe you did, because who cares?
Couldn't even learn their name. Here's a bag of money.
But yeah, that would be so tough to sit there and have the recruiting part not be about lying to these kids in the future you're giving them. Just more of the sense of they're just saying, yeah, I don't care about that. How much money? I don't care that.
It's different. It is.
And also they'll leave you.
I mean, I was always for players being paid a little bit, but it's gone so far.
They should have done a much better job of putting guardrails around it and rules on things, because it is
that just shows you how stupid the NCAA was about it. Like they could have sat at the table and controlled it, but instead they sat there and like, well, what about us? And like, we're just losing on this then. And they're like,
this has to be like the beginning of the end of the NCAA, because
people
what do they
watch.
even? No, I'm not talking about they won't watch. I just mean like the organization, the NCAA. What do they offer at this point, right? Like, what is stopping?
Don't they do the rankings and shit?
Yeah.
What is stopping like the Big Ten and the SEC going double birds? Fuck you guys. Yeah. We're out of here.
We're gonna make a conference. Yeah. It's not NCAA. Whatever. Who cares?
Separate league.
Yep. But I assume that there's just so much money that goes down from that is like somehow placed in, that is, if they can cover that money that pays for their swimming program through all this, then they're like, yeah, let's move off. But if they can't, then they're gonna sit there and hold on to the NCAA stuff.
Yeah.
But it is funny that it's just how much of a shit show it is. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're talking about these kids getting contracts before they've even played it down, and it's like, yeah, like, who knows if this kid's gonna be good or not. And that's money that they don't have to play it down. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
it's like, if we get to sit there and say that, like, oh, Smith is part of the Wendy's, and it's like, that's it, you called it out, you can use that name any way you want. Okay.
It'd be interesting to know what some of like the more lucrative NIL deals are out there. Like, I know some of the guys, you've heard some numbers, or some quarterbacks and stuff are getting like $5-8 million to play football at some of these bigger schools. But like, is that just a check from the boosters, or like is anybody like, what's the biggest payday? Like Caitlin Clark was getting paid from like Gatorade and State Farm and stuff, right? Like,
so something that's like a legit.
Yeah, yeah, it's like an advertisement, right?
So
like,
not
what
a thing
kind of deals are these
some
of these guys are getting? It's got to be some pretty lucrative deals going on.
Deacon Hill, maybe.
His shirt deal from that weird website.
Asher bought it.
Did he really?
He bought the shirt. He wears it.
That's awesome.
Had to be the only customer. I think we have more listeners than shirts bought of that guy. I heard Caleb's struggling a little bit. Camp.
Nope, all lies.
You worried?
No, I heard he completed a pass just yesterday.
I completed a pass today. What's that mean?
It means you're better than a lot of quarterbacks, I guess.
Joe Burrow's not throwing.
He's still not throwing?
He took 2 days off this week.
He's on my do not draft list, by the way.
I was going to say, what round are you drafting him in this year?
Him, and I'm still hurt from Saquon.
I already know your drafts. You're going to end up with both those guys.
Saquon on the
You're going to be...
I'm telling you, I'm taking first round. C.D. Lamb.
Is this before? I mean, you're going to have to rig the picks, right?
Oh, it'd be...
To get up there to get them.
Top 5? Yeah, I'll make sure I'm top 5.
I've been reading Reddit. I read Reddit a lot. And they have these. You ever read their like hypothetical scenarios? That they have like a whole subreddit.
Brad's more of the Reddit guy.
Yeah, I'm on Reddit all the time, but no, I don't know which subreddit you're talking about.
And it's just like people come up with these like weird scenarios. I was looking through them, and there was one. I was like, we could talk about this on the podcast, but like this one's way too easy. It's $2,500 a week, but you have to sit to pee forever. I was like, well, Frankie does that anyway.
I do that anyway.
You can't talk about that one.
So say $2,500 a week, but you can only sit to pee.
Yeah, you can only sit to pee.
Yeah, I'd be rich.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's scenarios where that would be difficult, right? Like you got to pee really bad, and you go into the bar, and the stalls are all closed and just urinals. Like, what do you do?
I'd still do it.
Just sit on the urinal.
You just wait. There's one stall, right? At least.
Or you can go outside and sit down and pee.
But there was a.
I'm sorry. We need to stop this nonsense that it's not okay to sit to pee. It's relaxing.
No, it's perfectly fine.
I'm a majority sit down and peer.
Yeah, you get your phone out and get away from the family.
When you work with a bunch of women, you don't want to lift up that toilet seat. There is so much under there that's disgusting. And so you just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down on top of this thing.
So you sit at work?
Oh, yeah.
You
There was
just want to sit on those women's butt cheeks.
Yeah, I was like, who warmed this up for me now?
Uh-huh.
There was
I lick it
another
first,
one.
and then I sit down.
There was
I'm gonna
another
visit
one.
your work more often.
There was another one that was really interesting.
Yeah, that was too easy.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
would definitely I would do it.
So
Fucking
$1,000
$100
a day
week.
for the rest of your life.
$1,000?
$1,000 a day for the rest of your life. But you have to, for a full year, you have to wear a Burger King crown. All right? For every waking minute of your day.
For a year.
For a year. Now, there's some rules to this. All right?
Who thinks of this?
I don't know. Bored people on Reddit, I guess. So there's some rules to this, all right? So the 12 months starts the minute that you put the crown on your head, all right? You have to wear one through all waking hours, right? There's a little bit of leeway in case it like blows off your head. You can go get it or whatever. If it blows away and you don't have an extra or something, extras are allowed. You can take a bunch from the place, right? When your 12 months are up, you have to return it to the same Burger King. It could be you can return a replacement. And you can never talk to anybody about it. You can never explain it to anybody. You can never even reference that it's there.
Well,
to anybody. This would include like your wife.
well, they would ask like,
Yeah,
why do you have
you just have to ignore them.
Say like, huh? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Well, that'd be a little more difficult. But,
Yeah.
It would be a little bit more difficult, but I
Could you imagine Dr. Brad coming in with his Burger King
Yes.
hat?
And if you break the rules, all of the money goes back.
Yeah, I'd do it. Sure.
Sure.
I mean, there's
now,
no-
if you were like single, it'd be really easy because you could just like
Yeah.
grab some extra ones. You could call your family and be like, "Hey, I got this job somewhere."
Like a
Like,
year
I
off.
thought
I'm-
you can't explain it.
no, you don't. I'm not saying you have to tell them what happened. You're just saying, "Look, I got to go out of town for a year. I got this job.
Going dark.
Like, I'll be able to talk to you guys, but I'm going to be
So
out
you'll
of the
be in your
country,
basement
right?
in a Burger King
yeah,
hat.
yeah,
Just
yeah. Well, when you got like a
just
wife and
watching
kids, man.
watching the human
Wait,
centipede.
does $1,000 a day start
Yes.
when you first put it on?
Yep.
Well, then
Yeah.
shit, yeah, I don't even have to go to work.
Yeah.
Just sit in your basement, $1,000 a day, got my hat on.
You never have to
Sorry,
work
Tay, I
again.
can't come in
$1,000
today.
a day for life, like
Yep,
you'd never have to
done.
work
Yeah,
again.
yep, right.
You only have to wear the crown for a year.
Now, if you didn't get paid until the year's over, then
that would be, a
more
problem.
difficult.
Could you imagine going to work, like me walking into work and being like, "I'm gonna sit here and
Yeah.
work at a computer all
Yeah,
day,
but
and
if-
just wearing a crown"?
Yeah, so that's the better question. The pay doesn't start until the year's over, but if you go for the day of, you put it on.
Now that
and
we
then
put
you
it
get
this
paid,
way, yes, I'd do it. Who do I see in a normal day? I guess
Your
You know?
wife,
I know, but
your kids would be like,
you know what? Yeah, Gianna would be hard to explain.
She would ruin
She'd be
your life.
mad. Oh, she'd take it off when I'm
Yes.
sleeping.
Well,
you don't have to
You
wear it
don't
when
have
you're
to-
sleeping.
You don't have to. Okay.
But she would knock that off your head and run away, and you would lose.
But Frankie, you could just leave your family.
I'll do it.
You don't know the options this brings. This hat is the greatest thing ever.
I'll be back in a year.
I just go to Brad's house and watch WWF highlights for a
Fuck
year
yeah.
in a Burger King hat.
You don't think he would be asking about it? Like, what the fuck is that?
I wouldn't.
Oh,
care.
Brad, I can tell to fuck off.
Guess Frankie doesn't
Look what
want-
he's wearing.
Yeah. Guess he just doesn't want to talk about it.
He's wearing a little biker penis hat. So I'd rather wear a crown, I think.
Isn't Burger King going out of business though? Aren't they
That's
out?
the rumor.
Are they
I
really?
think so. I think they're out. I think
Man,
Red
I guess
Lobster,
you can have it your way.
Burger King. How did you remember that?
God, we just lost our few listeners with that joke.
No, we gained some listeners. It's funny though, like
Do we have any
reading
more of
through-
those? Those are interesting.
Reading through all the comments on that, like people put in like real thought and strategy in how they would do this.
Well, you'd have to for something like that.
People are like calling out like loopholes, and it's just and like
I'm trying to think of the P one is so easy. I think like you say a bar, but
yeah, like there was some people that were talking about like exceptions for like what if they only had a urinal, like or what if you were on the side of the road and you couldn't hold any longer and you had to pee, like
I got a good bladder control. I think I could do this.
I mean, I think for the money you would just piss your pants.
I sit at
while
your
sitting
toilet
down.
in the studio here every time.
I don't
You don't
doubt
want
it.
to make a mess.
No, it's polite. It would have been, I guess, difficult at the George Strait concert.
Oh my god, this.
By the way, Jack Trice Stadium.
Oh,
What a joke! They should not hold any events.
oh, wait a second, guys. I realized talking about the sitting down to pee thing.
Now, sitting down to poop, I don't agree
So,
with that.
so you just stand.
Yep.
So my dad
Would you
goes on
stand?
this.
If you had to stand to poop $2,500 a day,
No, it wasn't 25 on a day on this one. It was
a month? What was it, a
Some
week?
week, I think.
Okay.
My dad goes on this fishing trip every year to Canada, and they take like milk jugs and attach like hose, like a plastic hosing to it. Then you can pee off the side of the boat without having to get too close. And so it's like a mini urinal, and you can put right up next to your crotch, and you just pee right in it, and then it just goes out the side
How
of the
big
thing.
is this tube?
Well, you cut a milk jug off at the bottom, so it's like you have a handle and like a whole milk jug to pee into.
Yep. So you got a wide berth to be able to piss into, and it's
Okay.
just it funnels into a little tube that'll go off the side of the.
Yeah.
Your dad does this?
Yeah,
But
and I realized
also-
when I was fishing in Minnesota last year, they had a very similar. They had a bathroom in the cabin, but they didn't have any. They didn't want you actually using the bathroom because they didn't want to have to clean it out. And so you had a gallon milk jug. This one did not have a tube. You just peed in it, and then when you were done, you
Dumped
came
it.
upstairs and dumped it out the side of it.
I will say
That's disgusting.
I have followed Bruce during fantasy football into the bathroom, and Bruce pees everywhere. When you first started talking about Bruce peeing, I was like, Bruce is a mess.
Well, he has like a Tommy gun down there.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Spray it.
your toilet was covered in piss when he came out. Now, granted, it could have been anybody before him.
Well, he was thinking about his pick.
He's
Probably
probably
couldn't-
doing it on
But
purpose.
this, fucking Frankie taking.
He's probably.
He's thinking about.
Frankie,
He's
Frankie
thinking
took
about taking.
Ezekiel Elliott. I really want Ezekiel
He's
Elliott.
thinking about taking Cole Beasley in the 12th round.
But yeah, it was everywhere, and I was like, well, and you know, like, I had the thought, I was just like, I guess that's what I expected, you know, like Bruce just peeing all over Frankie's toilet.
You can't sit down to pee because there's
There's literally piss everywhere.
Because there's Bruce juice all over the fucking place.
The Bruce is loose.
The Bruce was loose. Jesus Christ. I'm going to send Bruce outside for this year. Go piss on my hostas.
Just give him a milk jug.
everybody gets one of the draft. We don't have to go to the bathroom.
We just have a jug.
There's just tubes running out to your yard.
I like it. Should we put it to a vote?
I think we've got a quorum here.
Yep,
It's
no,
decided.
It's decided.
Oh.
Yeah, that would work out.
Oh, that's great.
Should we talk about this movie?
I'm having a good time not talking about the movie, but that's fine. Let me actually. You don't have a tube. I gotta actually pee.
All right, we can take a break.
Do not cut that, Jason.
No, that was great.
It definitely
I
happened.
got tears in my eyes.
It definitely happened. I'm not kidding. I was definitely like a thing where I was like, yeah, there's so much piss on this toilet.
All right, we ready for this?
I guess.
We all did our homework last night.
Well, some of us did.
Jason didn't watch it?
No, I watched it, but I couldn't watch it last night.
Oh, you watched it today.
You guys have to stay up. You
Oh.
guys stay up late. Like
Okay.
I don't stay up late. You guys said you were sitting down to watch. I sat down and watched 25 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta go to bed."
What a loser.
You know, but in '96 or whenever it was made, there wasn't a lot of 2-hour movies. Most of them were 90 minutes.
I was actually shocked when I saw it. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, I know.
hour 54?
Yeah, right?
It was kind of surprising.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was expecting an hour 20 maybe, but
Yeah, I was 27 minutes in, and I was like, "Oh, it's only got an hour left." That was an hour and 27 more minutes.
more minutes, yes.
So yeah, we
All right.
watched The Substitute with Tom Berenger.
That's our movie this week. It was actually Brad's suggestion. I'd forgotten about the movie. Great
I've
movie.
never seen it.
Yeah, I'd seen it with years ago, and I'd forgotten a lot of it, but
And I'll be honest, like, I didn't know who Tom Berenger was until I saw the
Major
movie.
League.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Major League.
Yeah. I heard he has a huge dick.
Sure acts like it in this movie.
Yes, he does. But I'll let you start. You're better at storytelling.
So we were texting about what movie to watch, and you two, like, it was like 9 o'clock, and you're like, hey, yeah, we're gonna. Do I have homework? Do I gotta stay up and watch this movie?
Because I was going to anyway, watch something.
Yep. That's
And
where
I was like,
at.
yeah. And I'm sitting I was actually already in bed, and I was like watching TV, and I was like, I'll never watch all this movie tonight. So I had to watch some of it today, which is fine. Good flick.
Yeah.
1996 movie. So one of the things I love about, like, most of the movies we've reviewed are from late 80s, early mid 90s. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it's a fucking long time ago.
Yeah.
25
years.
Well, it's almost 30 years. It's 28 years.
28 years.
Right? And you don't think about it. Then I'm looking at it like, I love looking at, like, the technology. Like, when they're in Cuba or whatever at the very, very beginning, and, like, they have that TV going, like, the TV had a dial to change the channels.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy to think,
In
like...
Cuba, that's probably still that way.
Yeah, I don't think much has changed.
Don't they still have, like, the old cars in
Yeah,
Cuba?
the 50s, yeah. But yeah, the main reason that I wanted to watch it was, same thing. I haven't watched in a while, but on the weekends, we might be able to go to the store and rent a movie, that cost $2 or $3 growing up. But the library had free movies. So during the weekdays, if you ever wanted to watch something like in the summertime, you'd go to the library because you just see whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one of those movies that was on rotation where, like, all right, we've watched the other 12 for the last couple weeks. Now back to The Substitute.
Nice.
And so I've watched that movie probably 3 or 4 dozen times growing up. And I haven't watched it since growing up. So that was like, the second I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this.
My dad introduced me to that movie, and I watched it with him. I think I've watched it once since, and it's better than I remember, actually. It's pretty good.
Certainly wasn't what I expected. Like, I expected... Like, I was thinking, like, Dangerous Minds, like, we're gonna turn these kids around, like, I'm gonna teach them something. I was not expecting, like, a true action flick.
Yeah, this was not student-centric. Nobody cared about the students.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck
he
them
went to the
kids.
top. There was
Ernie
a few
Hudson.
assholes. Yeah.
But one thing I did notice is, like this, there's a lot of things in this movie where I'm like, why is that even in the movie? Like, what's the point? In the scene where he's trying to get hired on by, like, some white guy to do some sort of
The farting guy.
The farting
yeah,
guy.
it's like the fart. Like, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
His
The guy
fiber.
rips this fart, and it's like,
It's a great fart.
I know, but, like,
It's-
how does that play into the movie?
Well, because
Like,
his last movie was Major League at this point, so they're thinking, like, he's a comedy guy, and so we need to get Tom Berenger in some jokes.
I mean, I, like, wrote it down. I was like,
I just wrote down fart scene,
I was like,
and that was awesome.
I was like, guy rips ass. Well, how does this play into the plot?
He later
like,
shits his pants.
yeah.
Yeah, like 2 minutes later, he shits his pants. But I'm thinking, like, down the road, how does this play into this movie? Like, somehow this has got to play in later. Otherwise, what's the point?
It's just hilarious.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I
it's also
guess.
that the I can't think of that one guy's name, Janice or whatever. Or
yeah, the mercenary,
the
that had the
mercenary that
highlight.
has the video.
That I wrote that down. Do mercenaries bring resume highlight tapes?
yeah. And
Do
then-
they just put them on and, like, show how they've killed?
They have better marketing than we do for our podcast in this day and age.
Yeah, obviously did because they got hired. But yeah, that was
Before that, though, when he met is the guy, I can't remember his name, the one that survives at the end, but the Mexican guy, he was in Breaking Bad, actually. He was obviously younger there.
yeah, I can't think of his name, but I know what you're talking about.
He invited him to the strip club to tell him about this job. And
Uzi Night?
Uzi Night!
Uzi Night, and they're all scorting the yes, I know.
I wrote down Uzi Night at the strip club is brilliant.
Yes. Is it? So do you think it was water in there or liquor?
Liquor, of
Right?
course.
Yeah.
So yes, some of them, like,
Damn
squirting
near.
them in the mouth, but, like, some of it, like, they're just squirting them, so these strippers are just covered in, like,
And I was
sticky booze.
I was imagining, like, do the bouncers
yes.
hand you an Uzi full of booze?
Or do you have to bring your own?
Or do
Bring
you
your
bring,
own.
which could be dangerous.
It's
how do you know
it's like
when you-
paintballing. Some people have a shitty gun, and some people have a really nice gun. You bring your own Uzi.
But that was That
What
was
a
awesome.
night.
That was the scene where boobs.
Can you imagine if Beach Girls had
Oozy night?
Oozy night, squirt gun night?
I'm gonna write them a detailed email how they should have Oozy night.
I mean, you couldn't do like those were like realistic looking.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oozy squirt
I think
guns.
they were like spray painted black. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they'd be like super soakers. But could you imagine squirt gun night at
But that's Miami,
Big
baby.
Earls?
You could do that for a bachelor party. You just get off the bus with Uzis. it may go a little different than you think. But
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out like you think.
So that's within the first 5 minutes of the
Yes.
movie. And
Yeah.
so literally the last thing you said was something about how when we met the girlfriend, you're like, oh, I think we get to see her.
I was wrong.
Her boobs later, and I was like, I don't think so. And
I was wrong.
because in my head, once I saw the girlfriend, I was like, oh yeah, this girl sucks.
by the way, she's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. Holy
and I was like, there's
shit.
no way I would have that opinion of her if she dumped him out later. But I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
I'd
this
still
girl
like to see her
sucks.
naked, but she sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was not a good girlfriend.
No, it's
Very obnoxious.
every scene she was in sucked. It's like
glad
we don't
her-
need this. When you're talking about filler scenes, I was hoping you're talking about that. Anything with the girlfriend could have been cut. Yeah, we didn't need any of that.
We needed the one scene where her kneecap got busted.
Yep, that's it. Yep. So that way we know why he's a substitute
Why he's a
teacher.
substitute.
and it turns
teacher.
out it had nothing to do with the drugs. It was just he didn't like her.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's true. Yeah, he's like, I hate this bitch. Go take out my teacher, please.
She takes like one freaking cane to. I don't even think it hit her in the knee. I think it was in the thigh, but evidently to the kneecap. And she's in like the hospital, full leg cast.
yeah.
Like, my God. And Frankie falls down the stairs, blows out his knee.
I'm
and
still
all
here.
he does is throw on some copper fit knee brace, and he's good to go.
And I podcast next week. I'm built
He
different.
didn't have. I didn't have to get a substitute podcast host.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe you
Probably
should
should
have.
have.
Yeah. Permanent substitute.
I'd still show up.
The scene where he tickles her vagina with a coat hanger
Yes.
through the
Oh, well,
cast.
you're jumping way ahead.
I mean, like
Yes,
we're
you
talking about her right now, and it's in like, what is this? This isn't even romance. Like, this is just like,
Talk about the precision accuracy.
yeah, he's just sitting there with a coat hanger up her.
How does that feel good, first of all?
Yeah. Oh, and then literally just like she's into it. Like, oh my god. Oh. Yeah, I mean, what a weird. Like again, like every scene she's in sucks. I mean, it really was. And so that's
Yeah, she was not a good co-star or whatever.
no.
Do you think? All right,
I
so
was happy that the guy hit her in the leg.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd do worse.
that school, like, do you think there are like actual schools in the U.S. that
There
are
probably
that bad?
is.
I mean, that place was falling down. Like, the walls are just covered in graffiti. Like, there's like a scene where they're in the bathroom, and it's like there is more graffiti than there is like original paint.
Yeah, generally my understanding of bad schools is that they're not like falling apart like that. You know, like what people complain about is like, yeah, this doesn't have air conditioning, or this doesn't have like half this classes are
That
in
looked like a
trailers
prison.
outside.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
That was...
those kids, like, they were ruthless, and like they look a lot bigger than what I think of like high school kids today looking.
Well, yeah, I'm
like.
sure they were like 25.
Except Mark Anthony. He
Yeah.
was a pretty scrawny dude.
Yeah, he is. But Jerome was.
Jerome was jacked.
Yeah.
It was like it's
And if you have a
rough.
class like that, I think you should be able to execute one of them just to.
to keep
Wait,
in
what
line.
was
keep
it
them in
called?
line.
What did Ernie Hudson say to do? Power perceived is power achieved.
Yes, it's
Yep.
a good line
Yep.
actually.
But then later on, Tom Berenger does something. He says, "Power achieved is power perceived."
He fucking like Uno reversed him. On
Yeah.
that.
So take that, Ernie.
But yeah, you just off a kid.
Like,
Get him in line.
like when I was watching this movie, so I had never seen it before. I was watching it, and Berenger, Shale, or whoever, like at the very beginning, like I really didn't think he was that big of a badass. Like some of the fight scenes, at like a little
does
weak
not,
or whatever.
yeah, it's not quite.
But
Van
then,
Damme.
like when he like catches that, I assume it's a beer can that's thrown at him.
Yeah, right?
Right. When he catches it and then crushes it and
chucks
whips
it at
it back and like bloodies a kid's face with it, like just.
I'm gonna do that to you at the draft.
Gosh, I hope so. I'll be so impressed because like it totally changed my perception of him in this movie.
That was
And then
it.
he went over there
Yep.
and he like
that
he
was
like broke a kid's finger and took his ice pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right, he means business.
Side note: do you carry an ice pick?
I didn't. I might
In
now.
high school?
Is your weapon of choice?
Oh well, not. I mean, yeah.
That's
now.
how rough that high school is, man.
Like, why doesn't he just carry a knife? Like,
Or
what's
why not
the,
a
Couldn't
gun?
afford one.
Like, nobody gives a shit.
who has an ice pick? Was that a thing in '96? Did we not have?
In prison, yeah.
Did we not have cubed ice in '96? Didn't the
No.
ice pick come from like when you used to have just like a block of solid
Yes,
ice and you had
right.
to chip
Yeah,
ice
yeah,
off
chip.
of it? Yeah, I think that was like the '50s.
Well, that's how he was able to afford it. It's old and useless.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely it was not a good environment until he got there, and then he cleaned that place up. Started talking about Nam.
Oh, gee. My wife, this side note on this, she recently read a book about Vietnam, and all she's been talking about is Vietnam now, and how awful the war was. And like, you're just now catching up to this? Like, she's like, why does anybody trust the government after that? And I'm like, I don't.
Adoy.
So
And then I sent that snap to her. It's like, let's talk about Vietnam. I'm like, this is your kind of teacher.
little sidetrack here, but do you think that maybe the those two assholes in the bar in Con Air like went to this high school in Miami?
Little throwback here.
Yes.
Who, what's his name? Poe? Poe took care
You're
of
the
him?
reason we lost the war in Vietnam. Sir, that was 30 years ago.
Oh, God.
The other I can't. What the other teacher too?
Daryl.
Daryl sucked.
Poor
'cause-
Daryl.
Well, it's because he was in all the scenes with the girlfriend. So.
What annoyed me was Daryl could have stayed in that little cage with the student and lived.
No, didn't he? He had to clap and run away
Why'd he have to?
because otherwise they're gonna get found.
They already passed him once.
Hey, she lived. He didn't.
Why did he think it was a good idea to go up the rope?
Yes, I agree.
The rope was
The rope.
ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, did
Cornered-
he think he was going to get up
I'm
there
gonna-
and they weren't going to be able to get up there and get him?
Yep. I know.
At first, I was thinking, like, isn't there a ceiling? But I guess
Yes.
it's an open ceiling
Yeah.
there.
Well, no. There's no way you get off that rope. But yeah, that's something that's like I wrote that down too. The rope scene because that's something I remembered as a kid. It was like, why climb the rope? You know.
I did not expect this movie at all, like to just end up in an all-out like gunfight at a school.
The library scene was awesome.
Oh, yeah, where he's
yeah.
throwing
He just
books.
kept throwing people out of
Throwing
the...
kids. Forget about like detaining
you really
any
need
of
to
them.
hit the books. And like catcher in the rye
People
hits
are
him in
like
the forehead.
falling, like they're just getting like they got shot. Like, you know.
I mean, good for him
One
for
terrible
deciding to
move
wear
by
a-
an ex, whatever Navy SEAL, whatever he is. He left the gun in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, so I thought that was like something that would like
I thought it was
dump down 2 or 3 stories. Like,
Or I thought maybe he's like took all the bullets out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude just grabbed it and shot him.
yeah. What that was stupid, right?
A headshot. Movie be over.
Hey, maybe Tom Berenger playing that. But yeah, great. The part where you say like he crushed that can, did the turnaround.
Yeah.
It was at that point, like you say, is like, oh my god, like this guy's got something. And then you watch him fight the
He looked
the Indian guy again the second time or whatever.
the slowest roundhouse kick.
It's just like, okay, maybe he's not as much of a badass as we thought.
Like Rambo would have ripped that Indian's throat out. No doubt.
And so another thing, all right. So like
Native
he gets
American,
his
sorry.
Excuse me, that redskin.
Seminole.
Yeah, they did
They
call him
the
the
Seminole.
So he gets his buddies. They're gonna help out and they're gonna fight these injustices at the school or whatever. Did they go in and install cameras or did they just tap into cameras?
No, you didn't
installed.
see that?
They installed them.
Yeah.
He brought his little mercenary team in and
Yeah.
they hooked him up.
Louis Guzman
Okay,
was
I
outside
didn't-
with
and
the
the,
phone.
uh,
I saw that. I just didn't know if they like physically went and planted the cameras in the school or if they just tapped into cameras that were already there.
No, I think they put him in.
And then
Because they had a camera in the bathroom.
Yep.
Which I thought was a little odd.
Well, that's where business happens.
I guess.
Just the girls' bathroom.
No, it was the guy's bathroom.
Well, Shale's been in the military.
Shale. Hold on, kid. I need the beer to talk about this. I'm getting excited.
All right.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't understand like why that movie stuck with me so often. Like after watching it again, I was like, yeah, it's a good movie, but 2 hours is a little long.
Yeah. It was just completely not what I expected. Like the whole like action side of it, I just did not expect it to go
I like
down
how you
the
thought
road.
it was going to be, like I say, we're cleaning up the school, and like nobody cares.
I thought they were gonna like teach him. I thought the substitute teacher's gonna come in.
Well, it was
and
kind of funny.
Well, he taught him about Vietnam. Quite a bit.
What was that? The Michelle Pfeiffer movie that came out earlier,
Dangerous
like
Minds.
'92 or something like that. You know,
It's
like
a Dangerous Mind.
But yeah, so anyways, that one's out, and you know, it's all about drugs and disorderly kids or whatever, but it's all about building those kids up. You know, and then this one's like drugs and dangerous kids, and it's then like, oh, because they're dangerous, we're allowed to beat them up and kill them. It's like,
That was awesome.
yep. And it's like, oh yeah, like it's okay. The audience is okay killing kids as long as they're bad kids.
So he gets his buddies to help, and like he kind of, you know, he promises them like some money or something on
the
like,
back end.
What, did he really like? I know that they found some money and stuff, and
How
they
can you
obviously
promise that?
they actually. I mean, it looks like they gave some of it back to school, but I assume they kept some of it for themselves. So like, they're not all like he. In the movie, it feels like he's like connecting with the kids and all this stuff, and then he's totally like taking the money from the drug dealers.
Yeah.
So he then ends up being a mercenary.
You got to have a reason to do this. I mean, you have the money.
Well, they explained it. They said something about, like, it was literally the scene before where they're talking about, he's talking to that boring ass girlfriend of his, and she makes some comment about, like, you know, well, she got like a letter from a kid or something, and it's like she's like, oh, they care about me, and then he's like, you know, then he comes out to her saying like, I'm doing this, and he's like, I'm starting to care about them. And then then they steal $500,000, and then all of a sudden there's VCRs and radios.
And then he bought him a fucking tuba.
Pizza party.
Yeah,
Tuba and
Tubas
Papa
and pizza
John's.
party. Yeah, and so it's like you sit there and think, well, that's where all that money went. But it's because it's like, well, yeah, because he's caring for the kids now. You know, like that's what it was all about. Was this guy's now changed, and then he ends up killing them.
I tell you what, though, like I love it when these action movies go like over the top with some of the scenes. Like, is it just great? Like when they've got like they're out on like one of those airboats, and they just like run a guy's head into the propeller.
Yes.
I was hoping
And
they'd
then, like-
show it. They didn't show it.
And
went
they've got
slow-mo.
the principal. They're on the phone with the principal, and instead of like showing it, they just cut to like a juicer.
Oh yeah, with the orange.
Where
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson is there
Ernie
again.
Hudson.
Yep. So the phony mercenaries at the end. Did you see their face paint?
Yes, the one that was with
It was like lattice.
Janice or whatever.
Yeah, it was just this lattice where it was just like basically to make fun of like how bad these guys are, and they're all just running around with. I mean, they couldn't have made that better. And then the one guy ends up stabbing everybody and killing all of his friends. It's like, no, the whole movie you've talked about how bad this guy is. This Janice, I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah, Janice.
And then all of a sudden he's killing everybody.
Yeah.
Like this guy's a pretty good merc. Like,
He had a highlight reel.
yeah,
That was the guy.
there's a reason he has one. He's pretty good.
Oh man, I just love the action, the gratuitous action. Like when they like shoot at Shale when he's in his truck and he goes right through that.
Yeah, the
single
mobile home.
line,
Mobile home.
Like that's awesome. That's great. I thought he was gonna come right through it though.
I know,
I
right?
thought he was gonna
Yep.
go through and keep going.
I bet they hoped he would, but they didn't plan.
And then like Ernie, what's his name?
Ernie Hudson.
He's like, oh, yeah, he's dead. And then like he just shows up to work the next morning and he's
Yes.
like shocked. Like, wouldn't that make the news? Maybe like a guy went through a mobile home.
When you're killing as many people as Ernie Hudson is, you don't.
And just
He's
the like,
shocked to see him.
just the weapons that they use. Like, I mean, Shale, like he had like a barrel full
Of ninja stars.
of just like
Yes.
throwing stars and
That
knives
was
and
on
stuff,
my-
and he used
I'm
that
like,
stuff.
do you have a bucket full of ninja stars in your house?
I do.
Got to
but-
grab 6 or 7 of
I
these.
love. He just went in like he was getting popcorn, and he just grabbed
Yep.
a
Handful.
fistful of ninja stars and went to battle.
They
David
all-
has ninja stars. He really does.
I bet he does.
He does. I've seen him.
Should get him a job as a substitute teacher.
Well, no, you just need to give him something to put him in.
And then like the silencers, like they all had these silent, like no one's gonna know that this gunfight's going on because you guys all have silencers.
Well, they didn't. They made that joke at the end. The cops were 3 hours late because they were being paid or whatever. Yep. So it's like they knew.
Except there were grenades going on.
Oh yeah.
There was a rocket launcher.
Oh yes, the
RPG.
rocket launcher.
Just down the hallway.
Yep. I forgot about the rocket launcher. Yeah, that guy just literally just lays this out right down the hallway. It was incredible.
Then the scene where I think it was Janice was finally killed. Tom Berenger looks at him, smile here on candid camera.
Yeah.
And just,
He's been holding that since he saw the video.
eat that.
And then the guy playing Highlight, the farting guy again.
Yes.
But he beats the shit out of that guy with that helmet. That's the most physical scene in the entire thing. He's just...
Yeah, I don't think that guy would be able to recover as well.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Just fucking waylays this guy. I mean, that was incredible. And then he, don't do it. Whap.
What a Weasley fuck that guy was.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
And he shit a lot.
Yes.
He did shit a lot.
Yes, he did.
Too much fiber.
Can you imagine reading the script and he's like, all right, I'm in.
He's like, so I'm the guy that eats a lot of fiber and farts. Let's do this.
Do you think they just thought that would be funny or something? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Well, it
understand,
was,
the plot points of, like, all right, you're gonna play a character. You're a Weasley fucking lawyer, but you eat a lot of fiber, and that fiber causes you to rip some ass and shit your pants.
Yeah.
You good with that?
That like 10-second fart he had. And Tom Berenger's like, thanks for sharing.
Been holding it for 20 minutes, waiting for her to leave.
And then she comes in like 10 seconds later, like she had to smell that.
Yeah, that thing was still wafting, you know.
Thanks for sharing. Great film.
Yeah, overall, I say it's worth watching. It's
It was a good flick. I will say, like, usually I try and go find some stuff about these movies and like some cool facts. There's nothing about this. No,
There is
no
a
cool
substitute
trivia.
too.
There's 4 sequels.
Yeah, there are.
I assume it's not Berenger in all of them.
No, it's not. No, he's not in any others. The part I wanted to bring up also was that when they were fighting, like they lifted up the thing and then the coke explodes.
Yes.
And then nobody had any effect from breathing in coke
Oh,
for
I
the
was
next
thinking
10
that
minutes.
too.
They were all just sitting there.
They were just like throwing it in their face.
Yep. And everyone was just having the grandest of time. And it's like, no, like either be like, wow, I'm really jazzed right now, or it'd be fucking you up. But no, they're all just fighting through coke without any sort of issue on it.
How did the principal end up dying?
The guy, Bill Forsyth, is that his name?
Yeah.
They thought he was. Didn't he shoot him?
Yeah.
Because he thought he was dead, and then he like
Okay.
came up and did one last shot to save
And then he died.
Shales, and then he died.
Oh, yes.
The amount of sweat on everybody in every scene.
This is Miami. It's probably pretty
I know.
hot down there.
That was the part where
That's
I'm
the
like,
most realistic part of this
Yep,
movie.
I
'cause
thought
would,
so too.
I would be sweating.
The school in the morning, like the teachers show up. Oh, we gotta cancel fucking school. There's dead bodies everywhere.
No. You just send a kid out with a trumpet and play taps.
I don't know. That it was
He even interrupted him.
Yes.
What's this for? For you.
For you, sir. Yeah.
I remember thinking like when has any school ever had someone play taps for anything like that? This seems like the most egregious thing ever.
Brad played it for me when my fish died. That was a badass fish. It was a that was a sad day.
Oh, that's...
The last time I heard taps.
Now you've heard it recently. Watching The Substitute.
God.
And then the other thing too is like the life of a I guess he took offense to being called a mercenary.
It's like that's what you are.
But he's basically a mercenary, right? The life of a mercenary, where you lost 4 of your best friends in this, and then the credits are rolling, and they're just walking off laughing.
They're joking.
Yeah.
Where are we going to next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go to L.A. Ooh, it's hot there too.
He's like, I want more palm trees.
Yeah.
It's like, you just lost your best
Yeah,
friends.
everybody.
That's how I hope you guys would act if I died.
Louis Guzman is literally just blown up. I mean, like,
He blew himself.
he
up
doesn't
to
even get a
save your
funeral.
ass.
He's just little pieces now, and they're
You're
just
speaking of your next.
yeah, they're
your
talking
next
about
home.
let's just go to L.A. And then also it's like, well, yeah, like my girlfriend works here. It's like I got another girlfriend. I'm out of here. She's got a broken leg anyways. Who gives a shit?
She's annoying as shit.
She is bad. Funny though, yeah. I mean,
He already gave her the house, so he's just like, I'll just disappear.
And his house was like what? Like the
I
same
might
thing
not
that
have catch
Bobby
that.
Boucher
So,
grew up in.
Did he leave her? Did he leave her, or was he like thinking like he's taking her with him?
Oh no! I mean, like I took it as like he's moving on with his life. Like this is like a reacher.
This
moment.
man is a
He
nut
told
job.
her if I don't make it back, like he's gonna die. So I assume
So
he's
he just wanted out of the relationship.
he's just faking, like he's just like gone, like he's dead, and he's just off.
He's like,
to
I
the
took
next
care of
thing.
what I needed to with that hanger, and I'm leaving.
Yeah. There's no DNA in there anymore. We'll go somewhere else.
And she can go back to work because
Her leg will heal.
he killed all the gangsters.
Yeah. The KOD.
That's hilarious.
Con.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, he just moving on.
Just moving on.
Man, I should have been a mercenary.
Yeah, their next stop is Cleveland. He's gonna be a catcher in the major leagues.
Great film there.
Yeah, that was too mainstream.
See, you guys have been literally just both watching these like action movies.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're great because they're not meant. A lot of them aren't meant to be funny, but they're funny.
Well, the one we did,
Yes.
I still think the best reviewed is Sulphur, just because of how nuts that was. But
The only one I had to put a disclaimer on. Yeah.